Okay, so hey everybody, and welcome to today's class, Get Pitch Ready. This is going to be your favorite class of the hour, if not the week, if not the month. Please get some pen and paper handy because we're going to be working on some things throughout class. So it's going to be real interactive. Is your script ready, but your nerves aren't? You know, when you think about pitching, do you get worried? Do you get a little giddy? Maybe you feel a little naked or exposed, or maybe you forget your words and flub up things a few times. Totally normal. Well, if that's the case, then welcome. You are in the right place. We've got you covered. What you're going to learn and experience today are techniques to clear rejection and clear any projections that you have about worry. Also, how to build up tremendous confidence that's going to attract the best match for you and your script. So, who am I? I'm Suzanne Gundersen, and for 15 years, I've been working in natural stress management. About 5 years ago, I began working with screenwriters to help them to clear their blocks, build confidence, and deepen their emotional worldview, which has helped them become more authentic writers. And how I do this is I teach and I mentor using some techniques that are a little geeky, a little sciencey, like neuro-energy tapping. And we're going to do some of that stuff today. And of course, you know, I've been here invited at the invitation of the ISA, who has experienced some of my work firsthand, and really appreciate being able to be in that community. All right, so before we get started, I really want to make sure that your writing house is in order. And that means, you know, have you got your script finished? Are you clear on the story that you're telling? Do you know why you're telling that story? Like, what was your inspiration for writing that story? Do you know who your audience is? Do you know how to connect with that audience? Is your log line tight? So much of the time these days, the log line is maybe all the chance that you get at pitching. Or if you've got the chance to pitch, you know, is your pitch written with such a hook that's going to leave them wanting more? You see, all of these things are really, 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 really important, and none of what we're going to go over today. So if you've gone through this list and you're like, yep, Suzanne, got it. You're checking all the boxes on this list, then we can get pitch ready. And if not, then just kind of put a pin in your work for now and still join us. And please, let's have some fun here. Let's stay open-minded. And again, any questions, anytime, just pop them in the chat. So what's getting pitch ready all about? Well, it's about being physically, emotionally, and mentally prepared to share and be in alignment with your script. You know, it doesn't make your script be something that you'll get optioned or sell right away. It really is about being in that authentic space where you are exuding that confidence in the pureness of what you are, that created that script that you're so excited about and wanting to get produced. So there are 3 steps to get pitch ready. This is according to me. Number 1 is we need to resolve past rejections, any projections of worry. We need to, you know, gain clarity and focus and be able to build confidence that you can be in that present moment delivering that pitch. And the last is to be able to be in alignment with your authenticity, your vulnerability, and have it be something that's, you know, resilient. For any time you're in an elevator, have 30 seconds to share it with somebody that you're ready to go, and you know how to step into that power and be able to share it. So first thing we have to do is we have to practice the feeling of feeling good, because it's good to feel good. And when we're stressed, we need somewhere for our body and our emotions and our mind to go to. So I'm going to take you on a journey of your imagination a little bit right now. So if you could just, you know, get comfortable in your chair, wherever you're at, maybe just scooch around a little bit, hop up, you know, get settled if you aren't already settled, and just lay your hands comfortably on your lap. And I just want you to close your eyes right now. And I want you to remember a time that you were driving around in your car and you discovered a new road, a road that you knew was going to take you exactly where you wanted to go, better, maybe even faster to where you wanted to go. Remember that time? You said, oh, where does this road lead? Oh, I know it's going to meet up with that other road. This is exciting. So how did it make you feel to find that road and to even drive on it? A little bit curious, a little bit excited maybe? You know, you knew that this road is going to take you somewhere better, maybe even faster. meeting up with the road that you wanted to see. So just be on that road right now, making that turn. Just notice how you feel in your body. Be in that experience. You feel a little curious, feel a little excited, maybe feel a little hopeful. While you're there, with your eyes closed, having this experience of being on a path, a new path for yourself, an exciting path for yourself, I want you to take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. Just squeeze it about 4 or 5 times with that feeling of excitement, of a new path. And I want you to just take an easy breath there. Now I want you to open your eyes. Maybe just wiggle free a little bit, just shake your shoulders a little bit. And then whatever you just experienced, I invite you to write that down. Write that down, maybe on the handout or maybe on a piece of paper. How did it make you feel in finding that new path? Maybe it was a little excitement, a little curious, a little hopeful, a little exhilarating. Just the top 2 or 3 words, anything that could describe it. Just write those things down. David said appreciation. That's beautiful. So write that down. So I'll give you a couple of seconds just to finish that up. Julia says, ready to take on the journey. Awesome. So we're going to do this again for the second one. So I want to invite you to close your eyes now again. Now I want you to focus on one thing that you know how to succeed at, something that you've achieved. And it doesn't have to be a big thing like, I know how to make scrambled eggs really well. You know, if you need scrambled eggs, come to me, I can make them great. What's something that you're successful at that you've achieved? Maybe it's something even bigger than that, but it doesn't have to be. Just focus on something that makes you feel accomplished. It makes you feel like you've achieved something. Every year there's a big ocean mile swim I like to do. So what about this achievement makes you feel good? Be there now, notice all the details about it. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like to have this success, to have this achievement? Like I said, it can be as simple as just being accomplished at making scrambled eggs. It can be anything. And while you're there, fill yourself up with this entire experience of achievement, of success. No matter if it happened when you were in the 3rd grade or if it happened 3 hours ago, whatever it is. And while you're there, full of this achievement, I want you to squeeze your opposite wrist with one hand a couple of times and just feel that success. And then just open your eyes, wiggle out your body a little bit, and then whatever it is that you just experienced in that achievement of that success, just write down a couple of bullet points. How did that make you feel? What did you see? What did you notice? What are some of the details of what achievement feels like, looks like, sounds like to you? Maybe it's something you said to yourself, like, I can do it, I did it. You know, my 4-year-old nephew, when I take him to the playground and he plays around in the jungle gym and he reaches a new bar and he's like, I did it, I did it, I did it. It's the enthusiasm, the excitement. James says discipline, balance, relief, satisfaction, all great words. Wonderful. So write those things down. Just give you another few seconds to finish up there. Jim says running fast and efficiently. Nice. You're in your flow. I love that. Okay, so for the last one, let's have you close your eyes again. Now I want you to focus on something valuable about yourself. Now it doesn't have to be a physical feature. It can be an attribute. It can be a behavior. It could be anything. What is it that you respect about yourself? Maybe it's an attitude. Or maybe it's just how you know what the word respect means. How do you see respect? Is it for yourself? Do you just see it between other people? You know, if you do respect yourself, even the small ways count. You know, how do you respect yourself? How do you honor yourself? What's valuable about you? What's the best thing that you tell yourself about yourself? Julia says self-care. David says worthiness. So how do you experience self-care? Is it taking 5 minutes to just go slower? Gabriel, what's resilience mean to you? And if you don't have anything, you can't find anything that's respectable about you this red hot minute, then how do you know what respect means? How do you know when people are being respectful to other people? How do they gesture in their body language? What tone of voice do they use? How do their facial features look? Whatever you find and uncover about respect for yourself, between other people, just be there now, fill yourself up with it, step into it. Meg says she values her energy and her passion. David says compassion. Mari says empathetic. James says perception, intuition, amazing. PD3 says perception, amazing. So while you're there, full of this respect, so much value, how you identify what that means to you. I want you to squeeze your opposite wrist a few times. Just squeeze it. Breathe. And then let go of your wrist and just open your eyes and wiggle free a little bit. And then write down all of how you describe what respect means to you. How you respect yourself, how others respect you, how you know respect between other people, however it is that you understand respect. Just write down a couple bullet points. There's some great information sharing in the chat right now. So maybe if you read some of that, you can get inspired as well. Great, so just keep writing those bullet points about respect. So on the screen that I'm sharing, I've got 3 specific pictures that I shared. One is about that new road path, one is about achievement, and the other one is about value and respect. And these are just ideas that I'm using to share with you about how I might interpret these words. But for yourself, I want you to come up with whatever you might have as your little picture, your little mini video of what each of these look like. And if you could, just write a movie title down for each one of them. Maybe you're using mine and that's okay. These are just ideas and suggestions if you can't figure out anything else. But maybe when you were in that path, that new road, you were seeing something specific. Maybe it's a name of a road that you know now. So write that title down for that one, because we're going to use these later. So write it down, little movie title names for whatever pictures you've come up with for each of these. I'll just give you a minute or so to do that. So for each one, whatever picture, movie that you looked at, watching and experiencing each one of these, look at that picture and give it a little title for yourself, or use the ones I'm sharing with you now. Okay. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. I did use the words neuro-energy tapping, and I did mention to you that I'm a little sciencey and a little geeky. So I do this technique that I call neuro-energy tapping, and I want to share a little bit about it with you now. So what is it? It's a self-use acupressure technique that calms the mind and relaxes the body. You literally are going to use your fingertips to tap on specific energy points. And when you do that, it's going to shift how you feel and experience your body, your emotions, and your thoughts. And tapping directly affects the brain and the nervous system because it relaxes those stress pathways and opens up new pathways for us to install what it is that we always wanted to be and how we wanted to experience what it is that we're going through. And I just want to make a little footnote here that, neuroenergy tapping is my term. It's my unique method, and not all tapping is created equal. So if you're looking at this, go, oh, this is EFT. It's not. It's not. It's much more than that because I encompass a lot of different tools and modalities into my approach with it. And I'm just going to ask you to please, please, please keep an open mind. And again, we're here to have some fun, right? So before we get into kind of rolling up our sleeves and doing some of this work, I want to just share with you just a simple crash course on how to tap. So we can put that to practice for what it is we're going to do to get pitch ready. So first of all, our bodies are energy, with rivers of energy that flow from our head to our feet called meridians. And if you went to an acupuncturist, they would put needles in these meridian points to circulate the energy body to be more in balance and harmony. Now, there are hundreds of points all over the body, and they're all interconnected. And so the points that I like to use are the main points associated with fight or flight, which are really kind of the stress points of the body. And the reason why I like to use those is because we really want to just calm our nervous system down and calm that stressed brain. So I thought, let's just practice the points together. We're just practicing. You can't mess this up. Remember, keep an open mind here. Let's just take 2 fingers, either hand. I like the index and the middle finger. And then you're going to take your 2 fingers. The first point is your eyebrow point. So if you grew your eyebrows together right here, between this eyebrow point right there. Now you want to tap about 5 to 10 times per point, and you definitely want to hear a patting sound. And then take those same 2 fingers on the side of the eye right here by the temple. Now you can do both sides if you want. You can do one side. You can get one side tired and go to the other side. It's okay for now. Just pick one side. 5 to 10 times per point, hearing that patting sound. Then you're going to tap on your cheekbone, under your eye, remembering to breathe. We're just practicing right now. And then you're going to take all 4 fingers of one hand and get a nice bounce right here on your collarbone, right where my necklace is landing, right here. Remembering to breathe, just practicing now. And then you're going to take one hand and squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times. Remember that wrist where you're squeezing? Yes, there is some method behind that. And then just remember to breathe. So that's kind of the simple crash course of where the tapping points are and how to do it. If you have more questions, pop them in the chat. Mateo says, I do this sometimes thanks to your last webinar. Oh, awesome, Mateo. Fantastic. I love that. All right, so let's try out some sample tapping. Now, this is not for our get pitch ready tapping yet, but this is just a kind of a primer to get everybody on the same page about what is it, how do I do it? Because a lot of people get wrapped around the axle about that. And I'm going to say, hey, just let's stay on a nice, easy road here. We're just going to practice. You can't mess this up. Super simple. So I teach tapping very simply in 4 easy steps. Step number 1 is I want you to notice something that's bothering you right now. So just invite something that might be on your mind that's incomplete, not sitting with you well, and just notice how it bothers you. And when I say notice how it bothers you, I mean, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like, this thing that's bothering you? How do you know it's bothering you? And I want you to give an intensity number on a scale of 0 to 10. If 0 means doesn't bother me, 10 means it really bothers me, what number would you give it? And I want you to find something that's higher than a 6. Remember, we're just practicing, so this doesn't have to be anything about your pitch. It could be something completely different, just something that you have in your awareness right now that's bothering you. Make it something that's higher than a 6 on a scale of 0 to 10. And then the next part is I want you to focus on the part that stands out the most, the part where you're just like, oh, I don't like that part, a part that just really gets me. Just go to that part, because that is where the root of what is holding this thing that bothers you together. And we're here to literally weed this stuff out at the root, not just mow the lawn and make it look pretty. So while you're there, noticing this thing that bothers you, something that's higher than a 6, focusing on the worst part, the part that stands out the most. Put all your focus and attention on that right there. I want you to take your 2 fingers and start tapping between your eyes and say out loud, let it go. I want you to lift your chin up and tap on the side of the eye and say, let it go. And then tap under your eye, feeling your fingertips, hearing the patting sound. Say, let it go. Lifting your chin, all 4 fingers on your collarbones, letting it go. And then I want you to take one hand, squeeze the opposite wrist a couple times, take a nice breath, blow it out, shake your whole body out. Then I want you to go to something that feels good. Real or imagined, it doesn't matter. It could be your favorite cup of hot coffee. It could be a hot shower that you took earlier. It could be your soft pillow. It could be the last vacation that you went on, some beautiful flowers that you're looking at. Just go to something that feels really, really good right now. And just notice how it feels good. Just let your whole body relax and soften in that good feeling. Really good. And then I want you to go back now to the thing that was bothering you. And I want you to notice what's different. What's the intensity number now? Maybe if you've been following along, tell me. What was your original number and what is it now? Maybe it was an 8 and now it's a 6. Maybe it was a 10 and now it's a 4. Maybe it was a 7 and now it's gone. Let's see some numbers coming up in the chat. Julia says it was a 10, now it's a 7. I say 7 to 3, 8 to 6, 10 to 5, 7 to 3, 74, 75. Oh, these are great numbers. 9 and a 6. Awesome. Great. 8.5 to 6. 8 now 5. Great. Love it. 8 to a 2, 10 to a 7. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all those numbers. That's fantastic. Alexa says 8, now it's a 6. Great. I want you to notice what's left. What's left? How do you know it's a 5 or a 6 or a 2 or a 7 or a 4? Whatever's left, how do you know? How do you know? Focus there. Put all your attention on that. How do you know that it's still there? That's often because we're resistant of not letting it go. That's okay. So just notice it. Notice that it still bothers you, but it's not intense, just like Liz writes. Notice that it still bothers you, but it's not maybe as intense, but just notice it. However you notice it, put all your focus and awareness on that. I want you to take your 2 fingers and tap between your eyes again and say, whatever's left, I let it go. Remember to lift your chin up a little bit, then tap on the side of the eye, remembering to breathe, and say out loud, whatever's left, I let it go. And then tapping under your eye and on top of your cheekbone, whatever's left, I let it go. And then tap on your collarbones, whatever's left, I let it go. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times. Take a nice breath, blow it out. And then I want you to go back to that beautiful feeling, or maybe another great feeling. Maybe it's a rainbow that you saw after a rainstorm recently. Maybe it's a nap that you woke up from today and you just felt so refreshed. Maybe it's a nap you're looking forward to. Whatever it is, that focus on that good feeling. And just fill yourself with it. From your head to your toes, just be in that good feeling. Just relax your whole body, soften your whole body, be in that good feeling. Good job. Now I want you to go back to the thing that was bothering you and notice what's different now. Maybe that number is coming down even a little bit more. If you've got something that now is less than a 3 on a scale of 0 to 10, even a 0 would be great, but less than a 3, you have effectively, regulated the momentum of the energy of that thing that was bothering you. You have reframed the meaning of that thing that was bothering you. And now we're going to rewrite the meaning by giving it some new wisdom. So for whatever was bothering you, maybe now that you've gotten yourself out of that metaphorical tornado of that stress, what new wisdom can you bring to that experience that maybe you can think differently about it, which will maybe settle in your body a little bit more calmly? And if you can't think of anything, then just land on, I'm safe now and I deserve peace. But if you're still higher than a 5 and you're still like, no, this is still something that bothers you, then you want to go back and do more tapping that just says, let it go, whatever's left, let it go. And you just keep doing that and going back and forth between the thing that bothers you and a good feeling. Tapping on the thing that bothers you and then just noticing the good feeling. So keep going back and forth. But if you're less than a 3, then I invite you to just find some new type of information that you can bring into this thing that bothered you and understand it differently now. Understand it differently in terms of your body feeling more calm now, your emotions being much more settled, and maybe now you can think of some new wisdom that might be appropriate to put here. So whatever it is that you've come up with, you can say those words when we're doing this next round of tapping, or you can just follow me and use the words I'm going to share. So again, if you're less than a 3, follow along with the words I'm sharing. If you're higher than a 3, as we go through these tapping points, I want you to continue to say, let it go, okay? So just focus on what you know that's left. If you can add the new wisdom, great. If you don't, if you're not ready yet, you're not there yet, you're still higher than a 3 or a 4 or 5, then tap, let it go. So just tap between your eyes and say, I'm safe and I deserve peace. Remember to lift your chin. Remember to breathe. And then tap on the side of the eye, I'm safe and I deserve peace. And then under your eye, I'm safe and I deserve peace. And on your collarbones, I'm safe and I deserve peace. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times. Take a nice breath. Blow it out. Good job. Wonderful. So that's the tapping process that I like to use. We focus on something that stresses us out. We tap to let it go. We enjoy a nice, easy feeling, and then we go back to the stress, and we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we completely have neutralized and released this thing that was bothering us, and it no longer can sit inside of us the same way. You know, this is just a general tap to help you kind of relax and relieve any of that tension and stress that you may have had about that thing that bothers you. Also, it's a really good primer to get us ready for where we're going. So if anybody has any questions, pop them in the chat. Let me just read a couple things. Barbara says she wishes she remembered this process during the election. Yes. Hey, you can use this process for anything. David says forgiveness is so freeing. Yes. Jim says I have time, energy, and resources to resolve this. Beautiful. That's a great reframe. That's a great new wisdom, Jim. That's wonderful. And notice how you probably couldn't have thought of that back when you were in the stress mode. It just, even if you thought of it, you didn't know how to embody it and believe it. But when you relax the momentum and the meaning and the memory that we have about these things that bother us, then we are really truly open to some of this new wisdom that we definitely want to land on in our body. That way we can just complete it and settle it and move on. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay, so I want to just share with you a couple of my guiding principles for this work before we go forward. So number one is, you know, what you don't want and what you fear is the strongest force in the universe. And why I believe this is because you know what you don't want, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it feels like. You know, I ask people all day long, you know, what is it that you want? And most people say, well, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want this and I don't want that. Okay, so we're full of what we don't want. And that is what is really the biggest motivator in the universe. But we want to flip the script on that. If we start to channel and focus on what it is that we want, we can really attract that. And that's the second principle of this work, is that your strongest state of being is where you put your focus. And I mean, you really can choose where you put your focus because, you know, what resists persists. So if you're just kind of a sloppy thinker and you're out there, you know, you're really not harnessing this great, you know, ability of attracting, you know, universal forces. And so we want to be able to clear out those fears. We want to be able to choose and align our focus. And last is that, you know, when we start to do something like tapping or do something like some of these other techniques I'm going to share with you today, when we start to unwind and relieve this body tension, when we help the body start to relax, it helps us get into our natural rhythm and flow. And that's exactly the place that we want to be in when we make our pitch. We want to be in our flow. We want to be in our aliveness. We want to be really authentically expressing ourselves in that moment. And how we get there is we got to calm the body down. We have to help regulate the emotions we might be feeling at any moment. And we have to offer the part of our brain that is imaginative and creative to be able to really think of the new wisdom that we can truly then embody in the clarity of having more calm emotions and more relaxation in the body. Okay, so let's do a little bit of that right now. So let's do a few relaxation exercises. So first is I want you just to take a nice easy breath. And on the exhale, I want you just to soften your whole body posture. Maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit until they relax. Just soften your forehead, soften your jaw. Maybe wiggle your hips in your seat. Bounce your legs up and down until they come to a rest. And just breathe. And I just want you to remember this relaxed state, how comfortable it is, how easy it is to relax. You can do this anytime that you need to throughout the day. Just take that breath in, and on the exhale, relax everything. Now just enjoy that comfortable ease right now in your body. Maybe you're still wiggling and getting situated to get comfortable. So right now I'm going to invite you to squeeze your entire body in. I want you to contract everything, even just kind of, you can move your hands up to your chest, kind of in protection mode, squeeze your fists, clench your face, I want you to hold your breath and squeeze everything. Squeeze your toes on the floor. Squeeze everything in your whole body. Just squeeze, 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 and hold it as long as you possibly can. Just when you think you can't hold anymore, take another sip of air in and just keep it, hold it. And then when you can't hang on to it anymore, just let everything go. Just let everything go. And just exhale. And just wiggle free of all of that. Wiggle free of all of that. And I want you to notice if you have something like a spontaneous breath, because that really is so helpful in resetting your nervous system to be much more relaxed. Let's do that one more time. I want you to take an easy breath in. And on the exhale, I just want you to soften everything in your whole body. Soften your body posture. Shrug your shoulders. Soften your forehead. Soften your jaw. Wiggle your hips in your seat a little bit. Bounce your legs up and down and just breathe. Now I'm going to invite you to do that squeeze again. Squeeze everything in your body. Squeeze every muscle. Tighten and tense every single muscle in your entire body. Hold on to that squeeze. Take an inhale. Keep inhaling more and more and more. And just hold it as long as you can. And then when you can't hold it anymore, then just let it all go. And just exhale. And then once you're exhaled, just wiggle everything free. Good job. Mateo, stay with us. Don't fall asleep. Right, Christy reminds us that when we're riding a motorcycle, the bike heads where you're looking. So don't focus on where you want to go, just focus on the road where you are heading. It's great. David says you're in the vortex. Okay, you're one of my Abraham fans. Awesome. Okay, so I want to do just two more things to get us nice and relaxed before we get going, because there could be some ups and downs in the next couple slides here, just to kind of give you a heads up here. But that's what we want. We kind of want to wrestle free from some of this resistance we've been having. That way we can get into our flow. And all of what I'm sharing with you now, please take this stuff with you and use this. I think someone mentioned before that since the last time I taught, they've taken and used some of these techniques for themselves. So brilliant, awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is something where we're going to do more energy tapping. So just want to get a nice bounce on your cheekbones right here, following your breath into your lungs. And then take all your fingers and get a nice bounce right here on your collarbones. And then take one hand and just pound your thymus right here. And then take both hands and get under your arms right here. I know it looks really silly. And then just wiggle everything free. Just wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it. That should make you feeling really good. Let's do that one more time. Nice bounce on your cheekbones. Breathing. Nice bounce on your collarbones. Pound your thymus. And under your arms. And then just wiggle it all free. Good job. So you should be feeling more relaxed now, which is great. Alrighty, so let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. So please have your pen and paper handy. If you haven't, have your class handout there. I did my best to kind of create some numbers of some things to kind of correspond with this PDF, with this presentation. That way we could be doing this along together. Alrighty, so if you remember, step one of getting pitch ready is to resolve our past rejections and projections of worry. So on your handout or wherever you're taking notes, I want you to get specific about how you know rejection. What does rejection look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? I want you to take the next minute or so and write down some things. How do you know rejection? Maybe I've never submitted a pitch before, so I haven't been rejected, but I've heard that people get rejected, or I heard my friends say that they got rejected and how awful they felt, or however you know rejection. I just want you to write down a couple of bullet points of how you know rejection, and maybe even create some movie titles like The Time I Bombed the Thriller Pitch, or Mike's Dramedy Rejection, or whatever. You just might have some short movie titles that can help you get into that rejection space. And I want you to be specific, because the more specific you can be about it, the closer we're going to get at the root of being able to get this rejection out. So if it's a picture, write down and let you know what the picture is that you're seeing. If it's just a sound or a voice or some words that you heard, write it down in the exact tone of voice that they used. Whatever comes to mind, just write it down. And if nothing is coming up, then just look at the word rejected here. This big red stamp, boom, rejected. How does it feel to read that? Now, don't worry, you're not going to sit here in rejection for too long. So wherever you're at is just enough. So now we're going to tap to reject the rejection. Yes, exactly. Because at this point, you've kind of become an expert at rejection because you just wrote all these ways down that you had to be rejected. So this is going to be easy to reject the rejection of all the references that you know how to experience rejection, right? Easy. We can reject what we know how. We're an expert at rejecting. Told you we're not going to stay there very long. So we're going to tap. So take a look at your list. Notice whatever the most uncomfortable thing that might stand out. Maybe it was a movie title. Maybe it was something that you saw and you wrote down as a picture, or words or sound, or however you know in your reference of rejection. Whatever it is, just go there and tap between your eyes and say, I let go of this rejection. I now reject rejection. And then tap on the side of the eye. Remembering to breathe, I let go of rejection. And then tap under your eye. I'm letting go of rejection. And then tap on your collarbone. I'm letting go of rejection. No matter what it looks like or sounds like or feels like, I just let it go. And I want you to squeeze your opposite wrist. Take a nice breath. Jim says, so long, rejection, right? If you know how to reject anything, then you know how to reject rejection, bottom line. But still, notice what's left. Something stand out? Maybe you got more specific. Now you say, oh, now I know exactly what rejection is really getting at when it's coming around to me. It was that thing that person said. It was that one script that I believed in that nobody liked. Whatever it is, just aim at that thing that helps you know what you believe is rejection. Chris, we can get rid of anxiety. We can calm it. We can reject a lot of things. Okay, so whatever's left, however you know rejection, just start tapping between your eyes again. Say whatever's left, whatever rejection is left, however I know this rejection, and now reject it and let it go. And then tap on the side of the eye, however I knew rejection, whatever's left of rejection, I reject it and let it go. And then tap under your eye, whatever's left of this rejection, how I know rejection, the story of rejection, the feeling of rejection, I just let it go. And then tap on your collarbone, whatever's left of how I know rejection. This is the final rejection, just letting it all go. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times. Take a nice breath, blow it out, say the word clear. So we tap to take the charge out of how we know rejection so that we can open up to new wisdom like we did on the last slide. So if you've got now rejection that maybe is a 0, 2, 1, or a 3, then we can move forward and we can start to install some new wisdom. But if you're still there, still focused on your rejection, then I invite you to go back and do more of just tapping to say, let it go, whatever's left, letting it go, through the tapping points as we move forward until you can get to a place where you're definitely less than a 5, closer to a 3, or even less than a 3. So, tapping usually makes people feel relaxed and more calm. So if you're yawning, if you're like getting a little tingly sensation, if you're feeling much more calm and at peace, then it's working. And if that's you right now, then this is the right time for us to add some new wisdom about what rejection really means. And if your rejection is still strong, then you want to go back and do more tapping about let it go. But if you're calm and relaxed, then let's forge with So forward with some new wisdom. And I come up with some ideas of things that you might want to consider. And you're welcome to use any one of these or even come up with one of your own. In the slides going forward, we're going to use the one that I've highlighted here called Rejection is Redirection. And if that settles well with you, use it. If not, write one of your own. So just take a moment and pick one, or come up with whatever it is that you'd like, whatever wisdom is befitting to you that will fit in place of your rejected rejection. So whatever it is, just write it down, maybe give it a movie title, or give it just a short sentence. So Mateo says it's a 1 on a level of intensity of 0 to 10, but it'll come back sooner or later. So Mateo, if it does, then you can use tapping to continue to neutralize it, because eventually, if you are persistent with your tapping of letting it go, it will become a 0, and you will be able to have a new belief about rejection. This new belief will come in whatever wisdom will be able to sit within you with true alignment. So Taj says rejection is character development. Could be. Could be. That's a good wisdom if that works for you. So whatever it is, just write yours down. As I mentioned, we're going to use mine going forward, that rejection is redirection. So wherever I have rejection is redirection, put yours in place. Maybe yours is like Taj's, where it says rejection is character development. So sit with that wisdom. So whatever it is that you chose or that you created, I just invite you now to take a few minutes just to jot down a couple of bullet points, how you fully describe this new wisdom. Because remember, it really works with the specificity of how you describe something. Just as you were specific about what rejection meant to you, I want you to be specific about what this new wisdom means, because we're literally crossing the bridge from an old meaning to a new meaning. That way you just can't experience rejection the same way. Remember, tapping helps us shift how we feel and experience our body and our emotions and our thinking. So now we've calmed the body, we've calmed the emotions, we have opportunity to create some new wisdom for ourselves. And it's always best if it is in your own words. So I'm just giving you some ideas here of things that I was using, and if they work for you, great, but come up with your own words. James says rejection is a process of elimination of what doesn't work. And what doesn't work is you not being in clarity of who you are as a writer, why you write, what you want for your work, and how you want to express that. So that's a great statement, James. So whatever your new wisdom is, just take a few seconds now, just jot down a couple of bullet points on how you fully describe your new wisdom. Or you can use this example, being directed to a new path. So whatever you've written down is plenty. So I want to share with you a new fun technique. Now, if you know a little bit about neuro-linguistic programming, this might be familiar to you. If you don't even know what it meant when I just said NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, don't worry about it. So this is a really fun technique, and we're going to use it to help you really integrate your new wisdom about rejection. So I want you to just close your eyes again. And on the right side of your mind, I want you to imagine yourself sitting in a giant movie theater. And up on the screen comes the picture of your new wisdom. Maybe it was the picture that you have of your new path that you created in the beginning when we first were anchoring our new driving path. Or maybe it's the vision of your new wisdom that you created about rejection. However you see this as a movie, it's up on the big, big, big screen. And you're the one in the movie theater watching it. Surround sound. It looks amazing. Now I want you to dart your focus to the left side of your mind, and I want you to imagine a small black and white television. And I want you to put any remaining rejection that you may have had on your list onto that TV screen, whether it is a picture, whether it's written words, a drawing, whether it's someone's voice, whatever details are still there. Mateo, for you, whatever that one is, how you know you're one, you put all that detail into that black and white fuzzy television. Now I want you to notice on the bottom of this TV there's a knob. And you turn that knob either way, and as you turn it, that television size is going to get smaller. And that screen is going to become fuzzier and harder to see. And the sound is going to become scratchy. And then I want you to quickly dart your focus over to that right side of your mind where you're looking at that big movie screen, you're back in your theater, and I want you to notice this new wisdom. Whether it's just words on the screen or it's a full motion picture, it's getting bigger now and brighter and louder and crisper and clearer. And it just looks amazing. This is the movie that you want to watch. This is the movie of your new wisdom about what rejection really means, what it really, really means. And I want you to go back to the TV screen. Put your focus on the left side of your mind. Notice that TV screen getting even smaller, 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 like the size of a postage stamp small. You can't see anything on that screen anymore. It's completely fuzzy. Just keep dialing the knobs so you can't hear anymore. It's just unclear until that completely just goes away. And then dart your focus back over to the right side of your mind where you're sitting in that movie theater. Up on the screen is your new wisdom about rejection in life size, in color, perfect sound, crisp, bright, wonderful. Just be there now. So keeping your eyes closed, I want you to go back and forth a couple of times between that TV, black and white TV, whatever's left of your rejection in there, shrinking, fading away, no longer real, and then switching over to that big, beautiful, life-size movie theater with your new wisdom. So I invite you to do that a couple times at your own pace until that TV is just completely dust and no longer there, and all you can see is the movie screen. Then when you're done, just open your eyes, take a nice breath, wiggle your whole body a little bit, great. So I'm reading some comments here. Anybody have any questions? Have any comments about what we just experienced together? Feel free to pop that in the chat. Jim has some new wisdom that rejection is not being a good fit. Absolutely 100% true, Jim. David says, this is an awesome technique. I can picture myself pitching while in the zone. Brilliant. It's exactly what we want to use it for. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Just pop it in the chat. All right. Onward. So Julia says, going to the theater side from the small TV, I was smiling. Great. That's fantastic. Okay, so here's some summary points. Remember, step number 1 was to resolve past rejections and projections of worry. So how we do that is we tap to clear that charge behind the rejection. And then we want to open up to new wisdom like we just created. We want to write it down, be specific. How do we define this new wisdom? Not just what the wisdom is, but what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does this new wisdom really, really look like, sound like, feel like? And then you want to do that switch and anchor to that new wisdom. So use your mind and the great imagination of your mind. Now that you've calmed down enough with some tapping and some other relaxation techniques, you can really open up to that creative, imaginative mind of yours to start doing that switching and anchoring technique. So use the movie screen and a TV or whatever big little thing that you can use where the little thing is the bad thing and you keep shrinking it until it's completely gone. I'm just reading some comments here. Chris says, rejection creates my new direction. Brilliant. Love it. Okay. All right, onward. So step number 2. Step number 2 in getting pitch ready is all about gaining focus and confidence in the moment. In other words, be the lion. A lion is focused and confident, and I want you to know that you are the best, and only person to present your script. Look, they are there investing their time to listen to you, to hear you, and believe me, they want you to shine. In fact, they're hoping that your script is the one. They're hoping that your script is the one. Okay, I just got to notice that my ear thing is not It's going to die.
Now that I've taken that off. Can you still hear me? Can somebody just give me a yes in the chat, tell me that they can still hear me? Okay, good. Awesome. I charged this thing up for like hours. Anyhow. All right, good. Still hear me loud and clear. Great. Thank you, Alexis. Okay, so step 2 is all about, you being the best person to present your script, and being that confident version of you, and knowing that if this audience has given you their time, that they want to buy your script. They want you to be the one. They want to say, oh yes, please let this be the one. They're not just saying, here, come waste my time for however long. They are just as excited as you are. So they want to see that authenticity come through for you. Jim says, do some tapping. Always a great choice. Oh, James says the audio is even better now. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. Next time we'll do it this way. All right. Here we go. So, I say that, be the lion, and you might say, oh, but not me. And you might feel some doubts. So what do we do when these kind of things creep in? We tap, right? So we tap to clear these doubts. So I want you to invite in right now any of those thoughts or feelings or sensations that you might experience in the body about how you're doubting your pitch, how you're doubting your script even. What does that feel like to you? Maybe it's a little internal wobbly feeling. Maybe it's some uncertainty. Maybe it's some unsureness. Whatever it is, just focus on how you know that you're doubting your success in pitching your script. And give it a number on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 meaning it doesn't bother you, 10 meaning it really bothers you. How do you know these doubts exist? Right? The more specific you can narrow down what that doubt is, the closer we can get at weeding it out at the root. And that's what we want to do here. Great. David says a pit in his stomach. Perfect. So however doubt about pitching, go to that doubt. Make it as strong as you possibly can. Go to those specific memories. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you sensing? What are you feeling? And when you're there, when you have something higher than a 6, I want you to start tapping between your eyes. Lift your chin and say, I let it go. I let go of all these doubts. And then tap on the side of the eye. I let it go. Letting go of all these doubts. And then tap under your eye. Just letting it go. All these doubts. And then tap on your collarbone, letting it go. All these doubts. And then grab your wrist, squeeze around a couple times, take a nice breath, blow it out. Now you know the process. What's left? Notice what's left. Maybe it's something specific. Maybe some other kind of fuzzy stuff just kind of cleared itself out of the way and you said, oh no, this is the thing. Maybe it really is that feeling in my stomach. Or maybe the feeling in my stomach starting to subside a little bit now. Now it's in my throat. Maybe I don't know how to, maybe I have to clear my throat before I speak. Maybe I can't remember the words. However it is that you're doubting your pitch, whatever specific information is still left, just notice that. Put all your focus and awareness right there. And then tap between your eyes and say, whatever's left, I let it go. And then tap on the side of the eye. Whatever's left of this doubt, I just let it go. And then tap under your eye. Whatever's left of this doubt, I give it permission to let go. And then tap on your collarbone. Whatever's left of this doubt, I just let it go. And then grab your wrist, squeeze around a couple of times, take a nice breath, blow it out. Now, if you're still something, if your doubt is still higher than a 5 or higher than a 3 even, then we need to still do more letting go. Even if it's just a 1, Mateo, whatever's left, if it's still there, it can grow back, and we want to be done with this. We want to weed this stuff out of the root. So you want to be willing and persistent to keep up with your tapping and saying, let it go, let it go, let it go. Not just saying the words, let it go, but really aiming at how you know your doubt. The better that you aim, the closer you will get to the root of what is holding this doubt in place. And when you get to the root of it, it will just disappear. It will melt away in front of you. But you need to be willing and persistent. So if your doubt is now less than a 3, This is where we can start to anchor in some of your success and your achievement in place of that doubt. And remember back in the beginning when we went through every one of those different scenarios of my path, my achievement, and my value, I mentioned we were going to be using these again. So if you have something that's less than a 3 now we can install your achievement in place of that. But if you're still higher than a 3, this next round, please continue just to say let it go in place of whatever I might be saying. But if you're less than a 3, let's go and remember that achievement feeling. Remember, even go back to your notes, look back into your notes, and what did you write down? How do you know achievement? What does success feel like to you? Go back and remember that. Really fill yourself up with that sense of achievement, that sense of success. Make it a 10. Step into your body in that success, in that achievement. And if you're there, only when you're there, when you're higher than an 8 with success and achievement, then you're going to tap and say, I know achievement. If you're still feeling doubtful, anything higher than than a 3, then you're going to say, let it go. So we're going to tap between your eyes, wherever you're at, let it go, or I know achievement. So if you're with me and you're ready to install some new achievement, in place of doubt, then you just say, I know achievement. Focusing on that picture and all the details of how you define achievement. Tap on the side of the eye, lifting your chin, I know achievement. And then tap under your eye, I know achievement. And then tapping on your collarbone, I know achievement. And then grab your wrist and squeeze it around a couple times, take a nice breath, blow it out, say the word peace. So that's the process of how you clear your doubt. Now, I don't expect all of your doubt to be gone right now, but just like we did the example of stress and the other tap before, now this one, I want you to be getting the gist of this. Does this make sense to you? Oh no, it sounds like I'm going in and out. Okay, let me get the other headset. Hold on. Okay. Okay, can you hear me now? Is this headset okay? Can you hear me at all? Okay. Anybody? Yes. Can you hear me? Yes, it's a little bit better. Okay, Julie, thank you. Okay, yes. Mari says yes, quietly. Okay, I'll speak up, Chris. Okay, I will. Okay. So is everybody kind of getting the gist of how this works? We go to what we don't want. In this case, it's the doubting of your success. And we focus and aim on how we know that doubt, and then we tap to let it go. We want to neutralize it down to at least a 3, if not lower. If there's any resistance still left, then we tap to let go of whatever's left. Once we get down even lower, 0, 1, 2, then we can start to install some of the achievement. And remember, in the beginning, we went and we anchored what some of that achievement already meant to us. So it should be easy to kind of recall and put that in place of the doubt. Yes, Mara says she's been doing tapping for years, but she likes my take on it. See, I told you in the beginning, my version of neuro-energy tapping is unique to me. It's my own method. It's my own kind of, approach to it after, doing it for however long time. Okay. And Tony says, I just like doing the exercises. It feels very practical. Wonderful. Yes, I'm a very practical person, so I'm glad you appreciate that, Tony. Okay. I'm glad now we're on our 3rd time's a charm, right? So now we got the earbuds in. You can still hear me. I will remember to speak up. Okay, so let's build up even more confidence so that you can be that lion when you give your pitch, right? So right now I'm going to invite you just to close your eyes. And right now I want you to be on that pitching Zoom call, or I want you to be in that elevator with that network executive, or I want you to be in the conference room with a room full of people. And I want you to be inside the lion's body. I want you to feel the power of this lion, the strength, its presence. I want you to know right now that you are the king or the queen of this pitching room. as you're in the body of this lion, you connect with your why. What was your inspiration that made you write your script? I want you to feel solid, that you know your audience. You know who these people are. You have researched them. You know what they like. You know that what you are pitching to them and your story to them is going to match what they like. And you know what you're going to say that's going to hook them. Feel excited and anticipated about that. I want you to feel the confidence of being inside this powerful lion. I want you to see yourself, hear yourself speaking crisp and clear. And I want you to notice their facial expression as they look back to you and they're hooked on your every word and how you're going at just the right pace in speaking to them. Now, while you're there, eyes opened or closed, it doesn't matter to me. Take your 2 fingers, start tapping between your eyes and say out loud, I know this confidence. And then tap on the side of the eye. I know this confidence. And then tap under your eye. I am the lion when I pitch. And then tap on your collarbone. I know this confidence. I am the lion when I pitch. And then grab your wrist, squeeze it around a couple times, take a nice breath, open your eyes, wiggle everything free. Take a nice breath. Now, if you felt any resistance to doing that, then that's more information for you to go back and tap and let it go. Whatever your resistance is, you need to honor it. Don't just say, oh, well, you know, it'll be okay. No, go there and let it go. But we want to keep building the momentum of the confidence once we have a hold of it. So we started with the achievement, success on the last slide. So now we're really the lion and we're going to be roaring out our authenticity. Any questions? All right. So let's do this fun switching technique again, okay? So, you know, on the left side of your mind, I want you to put any remaining doubt that you have into this television screen, in this black and white, very small, small, small television screen. And on the right side, in this giant, giant movie theater, with you sitting in the theater, watching yourself in the pitch room, you are the lion on the big screen. Yes, that is you. You're going to make yourself bright and wonderful. Be inside that lion's body. So I invite you to close your eyes now if you're not already, and just go to that TV screen. Feed it with whatever remaining doubts that you have. Whatever pictures, sounds, put them in this television. Notice the knobs on the television. Turn them whatever ways that you need to make the screen fuzzier, to make the sound scratchy, to make this size television shrink smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I want you just to quickly dart your focus to the right side of your mind where you're sitting in this giant movie theater. You're looking up on the screen. Yes, it's you inside the lion's body, sitting inside of the pitch room with everybody around you. They're looking at you, anticipating your next word. You have them hooked. You are confident. You're clear. You know exactly what you're telling them. You have them. They are your captivated audience. You feel so easy and relaxed in your body. It's just so comfortable and easy to be there. Then I want you to switch back to the TV, go back to that television knob on the left side of your mind, turn it again, make that television smaller. The screen is getting even fuzzier, can't see anything, can't understand anything about what's going on that TV anymore. You can't hear anything. The size of the television shrinking, shrinking. And then dart your mind back to the right side. Let this completely consume your entire space where you're sitting right now. You're sitting in the movie theater. You're watching yourself in this pitch room. They're waiting on every word that you say. They're so excited. Be the lion. Now just breathe. Then open your eyes and just wiggle free in your chair a little bit. Just, you know, just shimmy your shoulders a little bit, wiggle your hips a little bit in your seat, right? Remembering to breathe. Alrighty. So, step 2 was gain focus and confidence in the present. So remember, you are the best person to pitch your script. How we get there is we need to clear any of the charge behind doubting how you pitch so that you can be the lion. All right, so step 3 in getting pitch ready is to get aligned and resilient for the future. You know, it's all about getting aligned within yourself and with your script. You know, the clearer on who you are as a writer, and the stronger, you know, the clearer you are on who you are as a writer is going to deliver you these impulses and urges that are going to help you to connect the dots to where you can find the best and brightest ideas that are going to match your script. It's all about connecting the dots. This is why every single rejection is really another piece of the puzzle that'll help you know where you need to get more clarity with yourself. Who are you as a writer? Why do you write? What inspires you? Who do you want to work with? How do you want to work with people with your script? All of this is really important information for you to know going into your pitch. That's why I said we're not creating that here. You need to know that. But when you are pitching and you don't get the reaction that you want, you're getting the reaction that you need so that you get the information to help you get more clear, to get into alignment. That way you can accept every reaction as an achievement, as a success. It's just getting you closer to connecting these dots so that your genius can shine. So they want you. I think I mentioned this before. They really, 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 really want you. You know, notice any resistance that you might feel when I tell you that they want you. You might say, no, Suzanne, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. They want what they want. I'm here to give them what they want. No, 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 no. I'm here to tell you no. That is not how it works. You don't get it. It's about you being clear on you and showcasing your passion. You know, I want you to, you know, remember that concert that you went to that you loved, or that piece of art that you purchased that you just adore. You know, why is it that you loved it so much? You know, because you recognize that pure authenticity. You felt a connection with it. You know, how do you recognize that connection and authenticity with yourself, with your own passion, with your own vulnerability? That is what they want to read in your scripts. That's what they want to hear in your pitch. You know, for me, and whether you like him or not, you know, I love Dave Matthews and Dave Matthews Band. And whenever I see them on stage, I just feel like he sings with his whole body. It's not just his voice, it's his whole body that is singing to me. He vibrates authenticity. And that's how I feel connected to my own authenticity and my own vulnerability, because that's how I sense him. So maybe right now, think of what your version of that experience is for you. Maybe it is a piece of art that you've purchased. Maybe it's something that you even developed yourself. How do you connect with pure, raw authenticity? What's coming to mind right now? Maybe you see it in somebody else. Maybe you see that they have it. Like I said, I see it in Dave Matthews. I even see it, like, I think it was the movie with Freddie Mercury and Queen that they did recently. I loved that guy, like, you know, whoever played that role, Freddie Mercury. He was amazing as an actor. He just exuded that confidence, exuded that aliveness, really embodied Freddie Mercury. I even love, you know, Stevie Nicks. I'm not just talking about singers right now, but, you know, how is it that you recognize authenticity and passion? However you recognize it in somebody else is a part of how you recognize it in yourself. We often give credit outside of ourselves before we give it to ourselves. So just notice how you might see it in something else. Like I said, a piece of art, someone singing, whatever it might be. Just be in that space right now. That's where you need to be when you're delivering your pitch, full of aliveness, full of passion, sharing your authenticity. So does anybody have any ideas of how, you know, what they've just come up with that they can share in the chat with us? You know, David says, I see it in the work of Ryan Murphy. Great. So however you connect with Ryan Murphy, you know, that part of you, that Ryan Murphy part of you is where you want to get to when you are getting ready to do your pitch. Anybody else have anything that they want to share about that? Pop that in the chat. You can write this down on your handout, write it down in these notes. Like, you know, I said, be the lion. You know, David, you need to be Ryan Murphy. Get into that state of being. Leverage that confidence, leverage that passion, leverage that authenticity. So you need the beacon. You need to be the beacon for them to find you. You know, when you get clear on why you write and who you are as a writer and what inspires you to write, you're going to shine. And every pitch will provide you this feedback that's going to help you further clarify, you know, how to specifically be your version of Ryan Murphy, Dave Matthews Band, or whatever artist you notice them as being alive. You know, so find whatever you notice alive, or however you notice aliveness, however you notice passion, and begin to cultivate that for you so that you can truly be that beacon that shines in all directions. And Tony says, I love the lion part. That definitely resonates with me. Great. Then just notice the lion, that the strength and the confidence of a lion. I like neutral things like that too, David, because Tony, because then we don't have any other judgment and opinion about it. The things that we can have less judgment and opinion about, the better. So that's why I like the lion. So great that I'm glad that it works for you. Mari says, I love Robert Smith. He doesn't care what anybody thinks about his creativity in songs or worry about not pleasing everyone. Awesome. So be Robert Smith. Jim says, you know, Usain Bolt running 100 meters in a world record, strength, grace, speed, effortlessness. That's a great word. Awesome. And Mateo says, love the beacon metaphor. You've got to be the beacon. Now, remember, the beacon is going to attract a lot of things. And guess what? You get to be the one, not you, not you, not you. No, okay, you. I'll pitch to you. You'll have so much being attracted to you that you really have to be a good sifter and sorter, but you still need to be that beacon to attract those opportunities to you. So find what it is that you resonate with, whether it's the lion or some other singer or Usain Bolt or whatever it is. Find that thing and cultivate that more for yourself. Be that aliveness, be that genuine, authentic, vulnerable version of yourself. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of things are going to be attracted to you when you're the beacon. So you have to learn to say no, thank you. Because some people are just going to say no just to say no. They're just going to do that just because, and that's whatever, right? Whatever. So when people say no, you say no, thank you. Just learn to say no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's all you have to say to these people, because there are some people out there, you know, that are going to just say no to say no. And you do not want to be the person who is just waiting for someone to validate you or tell you that, you know, you are who they want you to be, because literally they'll just dismiss your brilliance. They'll destroy your idea, or worse, they'll take your idea. These are not the people that are in alignment with you. They may still be attracted to your beacon. And again, it's your choice to say, not you, not you, not you. Oh, yes, you. Yes, you can come and I will pitch to you. Be choosy. Remember, the people that are going to be most receptive to your ideas are the ones that are going to match your own beacon light. They're going to match your authenticity. So the more clear you can be on who you are and your authentic self, the more you exude that in the moment. Be the lion, you know, be that version, however it is that you know authenticity, be that. You're going to get closest in alignment to the person that's going to match you. So you might be saying, oh, that all sounds great, but you know, I don't want to be seen. I'm not an introvert. I think someone mentioned a few, I don't know, 10 or 20 chats ago, they're an introvert. They're a certifiable introvert. I'm here to take your certification away. You do not need to be an introvert when you're pitching. You can be an introvert anywhere else, but when you are pitching, you need to be sharing your authentic self in a safe way. You don't need to be sharing your entire self. You just need to be sharing you as a writer in your story, because it's your story that you're wanting to bring alive through a producer or director or network. And so they need to touch and feel that vulnerable, authentic side of you. So you can be, you know, certifiably introverted everywhere else in your life, except in the 90 seconds that you're pitching. In that 90 seconds, with healthy, safe boundaries, you need to clear the fear of being seen. So Jim says, you don't want to be what someone else sees but yourself. Exactly. You just really want to be in alignment with yourself 100% so that you can be that shining beacon, that you're swatting off the bad flies you don't want. You know, you don't want the mosquitoes. You want the gorgeous dragonflies. You want the butterflies. You want the nice things that want to fly and attract for the baking. So with all I just said the last few slides, you might be feeling like, I still don't want to be seen. Don't put me out there. So however you might be identifying right now with your fear of being seen, let's do some tapping to clear it. And we're going to move through this slide pretty swiftly because I know we're coming up the end of an hour and a half and I want to, you know, be respectful of that time. and you know what the process is. But let's get into any fears that you might have, and noticing where maybe you've worn masks in the past. Why are you afraid to be seen? Where have you worn masks in the past? You know, we've been so conditioned to perform, to give them what they want, you know, but getting your script in the right hands is really about you giving yourself permission to shine through your authenticity. So let's start to take off that mask. So notice where maybe you're wearing masks, maybe you've got some fear of being seen. Aim at how you know. Aim at that fear. Oh, please don't see me. Oh, I don't know. I'll just read my script. Okay, let me like rotely put out there this, you know, blah, 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 this pitch. I'll just read it to you very mechanically. No, that's not how they want it. They really want you to embody the words that you're sharing in that time that they are willing to listen to you, that they're ready to buy your script from you as soon as they see that realness from you. But whatever fear you might have about doing that, just connect with that right now. Make it as strong as you can on a scale of 0 to 10. Make it something that's higher than a 6. If you want to do this one later, put a pin in it and just wait a few minutes. We'll be done with this one. But if you want to follow along, then great. Notice whatever fears that you have. Oh, I'm terrified. I don't want to, what if I put myself out there? They laugh at me. What if I mess up something? I don't say it correctly. There are no mistakes. Just notice your fear. Start tapping between your eyes. Lift your chin. Say, I let it go. All this fear, I just let it go. And then tap on the side of the eye. All this fear, I just let it go. Tap under your eye. All this fear, I just let it go. On your collarbones, all this fear, I just let it go. And then grab your wrist, squeeze it around, take a nice breath, blow it out. Notice what's left. Still afraid? Has the number gone down? Where are you? Focus and aim at whatever's left. Tap between your eyes. Lift your chin. I just let it go, whatever's left. Side of the eye, I just let it go, whatever's left. Under the eye, whatever's left, I just let it go. On your collarbone, whatever's left, I just let it go. And then grab your wrist, squeeze around a couple times, take a nice breath, blow it out. Now, if you're less than a 3 of intensity of your fear, then we can install some new wisdom, like it's safe to be seen now. If you're still higher than a 3, then this next round I invite you to continue to say, let it go. But if you're less than a 3, then follow along, tap between your eyes. Wherever you're at, let it go or safe to be seen now. Say these words to yourself. Safe to be seen now. Side of the eye, safe to be seen now. Under the eye, safe to be seen now. On your collarbone, safe to be seen now. Grab your wrist, safe to be seen now. Take a nice breath. Good job. So you want to keep building yourself up to be this lion, you know, be that Dave Matthews, be that Ryan Murphy, be that, Usain Bolt, you know, be whatever it is that you connect with your authenticity, and, you know, that'll help you be calm and confident in that moment, and even clear on who you are. And you want to be able to be willing to accept that every pitch is a success. You know, since you're the one tossing the pitch, you know, get clear on the steps to having the pitch be your way, and you can have it your way. You know, in fact, it needs to be your way. You know, really being that lion means to be, you know, in that confident state. You think a lion asks permission? Hell no. Meaning, you know, it needs to be, you know, your passion, your authenticity, you know, or else it won't be the right match. If you kind of go in there weak and feeble and kind of like hopeful and maybe I'll just toss it out there, that's not going to cut it. No, you're going to get someone who matches that. You want to be in that lion state. You know, you want to let them think like, who does this person think that they are, being so densely present, so intoxicatingly attractive? I mean, that's how you want to be when you're presenting your script. So a little fun little exercise on how we can feel the difference between, well, am I confident enough or is this not enough? Well, you know, how do you know if you stepped into your value and your authenticity is kind of the difference between how you feel a hell yes or a hell no, right? So I want you right now to just sink into, what does it feel like? What does hell yes feel like? Hell yes. Just feel the pureness of that. How your whole body just stands at attention and focus. Hell yes. That's where you want to be, in your lion, in your example of authenticity. Get that hell yes. Maybe even write down in some notes right now. How does your body feel? What does a hell yes feel like? Are you ready? Are you eager? Are you excited? You know, what does a hell yes feel like emotionally? Is it with curiosity? Is it with hopefulness and with joy? How does it emotionally feel? You know, what are some of the thoughts that you think when you think hell yes? Like, I got this. I got this. Oh yeah. You know, write this down. What does hell yes feel like? It's really going to help you know. Am I being my beacon? Am I being my lion? Because anything other than a hell yes is a hell no. There's no such thing as maybe. Maybe is a hell no. It's a hell yes or a hell yes or a hell yes. If not, it's a hell no. So just take a few minutes now, write down some things. What does a hell yes feel like? What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like emotionally? What are the thoughts that remind you of things that have you sensing hell yes? And feel free to pop them in the chat here. David said, I feel so pumped. This is so valuable. Thank you so much. I'm psyched for you, David. Thank you for being here listening. And Mari says, the thought of connecting to like minds is intoxicating. Exactly. Don't you love that word, intoxicating? You just fill yourself up. Mark says, energize. Hell yes feels energized. Yes. Yes. Oriana says, you walk taller. Brilliant. Exactly. Your body posture stands up straight. You said, oh yeah, look who I am. Just like Dan says, just like it reads, if it's not a yes, it's a pass. Brilliant. So write this detail down for yourself. What does your hell yes feel like? All of this is going to be compiled to be the thing that makes you go into the room, share your value, and have your mic drop moment. Okay? So remember in the beginning when we looked at those 3 examples and one of them was value and respect? Right now we're going to anchor just even more of that confidence, more of that hell yes. I want you to be in that pitch room right now, in your lion body, having all these people looking at you and they are just like on your every word. So excited that your script is exactly what it is that they're looking for. Remember that value and respect that we went over in the beginning of class. We're going to use that now. So go back and maybe read how you described some of that. John P. says, I'm relaxed now. I achieved my goal. Brilliant. We're trying to build up on this momentum of your value, of your worthiness, of how people respect you, how you know respect, how you're standing in that state of hell yes. You know, like Oriana says, you walk taller, you know, you got your shoulders back, you're standing tall, right? Be there. How you know respect, how you know you're valuable. You're giving your pitch. Start tapping between your eyes and say, I am so valuable. Side of the eye, I'm so valuable. Under the eye, I am so valuable. On your collarbone, I am so valuable. And then on your wrist, squeeze it, take a nice breath, go to that picture of whatever it is that you had as your respect, that value for yourself, or just notice yourself in the room, mic drop, boop, boom. Hell yes, I know my value. All right, so here's a summary of step 3. Remember, step 3 said get into alignment. How we do that? We need to tap to feel safe to be seen. You need to connect with your authenticity and let that beacon shine bright. And remember, a lot of the things are going to get attracted to that light. You want to just, you know, flick off the things that aren't in alignment and just go, yes, you. I'll share with you. And own and stand in your value. That way you can have your mic drop moment. So here's some final summary and tips. Remember, we have to transform our rejection into new wisdom, whatever that new wisdom is. We need to be the lion. We need to build up our connection with our authenticity and our personal value system and be in the now. And we need to realize that every pitch is a success. It's getting us closer and closer and closer to help us get clear about who we are as a writer and the script that we're trying to pitch, and that we can have that mic drop moment when we embody all of this together. So how's everybody doing? Kermit says, beautiful, Suzanne, thank you. Fantastic. Anybody else have any comments, questions? I told you we were gonna have fun. Hopefully you had fun. Was it fun? David says, awesome. Welcome, David. Tell 10 of your friends. Kermit says, yes. Hell yes, Kermit, right? Hell yes. Fantastic. Well done. I have found serenity. So empowering. Hell yes. Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for hanging in there and participating. I really appreciate it. Okay. So if you had some fun today and you're interested in this type of work, I don't know what happened to this slide. It looks a little wonky. I don't know what happened here. Oh, hold on. Reframing. All right. So if you had some fun and you're interested to do this type of work with me to get super clear and aligned on presenting your work, you know, I've got some consulting packages. You know, I've got a special page that I put out just for the ISA today. So it's Screen Right Now is my website /get-pitch-ready. Got 3 consulting packages out there for you. Get Noticed, my best pitch, and the break-in. I know, aren't they cute and playful? My little package names here. Look, if 2020 has just totally crunched you, you know, please, let's just still keep in touch on social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that good stuff. And if you'd like to get a copy of today's presentation, I am going to put a link in the description box of the chat right now. And you can go there and grab a copy of this presentation. If you have any questions, you can always email me or reach me at any of my social media